So the 4 subpoenas we served are these. One in the White House office, one in the Vice President's office, one in the National Security Council, and one in the Department of Justice. They seem to think that if you ask questions in Congress, you should not have answers, or you should have evasions. That's not the way I feel.
That's Senator Patrick Leahy on Wednesday introducing those 4 subpoenas in regards to the warrantless wiretapping, the illegal warrantless wiretapping that the Bush administration perpetrated on this country. And we simply don't know why they evaded this procedure. They have come out with not a single instance in which this procedure that was put in place, I think it was in 1978, and amended many times since then, which provided out of the 20,000 requests, all but 4 were granted in terms of warrants. 20,000 requests, all but 4 were granted. It worked for Clinton, it worked for Reagan, it worked for Carter, it worked for Bush's father, it worked on 9/11, but sometime after that time, the Bush administration decided, hey, we can spy on people? Well, let's crank up those cameras. Let's get, look at all the cell phone numbers I got. I collected them. The panel is seeking materials on related issues, including the relationship between the Bush administration and several unidentified telecommunications companies that aided the NSA eavesdropping program. Can you hear me now? I don't mean to implicate Verizon, but I think it was AT&T. Well, we only know bits and pieces of this, of course, because the Bush administration hasn't given us any information whatsoever. And now all that Leahy is looking for is the legal justifications. How did you justify not following this statute? This is Leahy on Meet the Press today, number 7.
So you have no problem with the plan of eavesdropping as such?
Provided it follows the law. What I don't want is this open-ended idea that they had at the White House until the press found out about it, which would allow, for example, if they didn't like some comment that you made on NBC, they could then go without any warrant, wiretap your phone, check out your bank accounts, surveil you. But we don't want that in America.
Even if I had no contact with someone overseas?
Even if you had no contact with someone overseas, under the broad way that they were talking about. So what we've asked is, what was their legal justification for it? Their answers, as we've asked these questions, as the press has asked these questions, has changed so many times, some of it in testimony under oath. We kind of like to find out what is the basic reason for it.
Remember, this is the program that John Ashcroft,
only God, no other king,
on his deathbed, or at least what he thought might be his deathbed, refused to certify. This is the program that Alberto Gonzales, when he was the White House counsel, and Andy Card rushed over in the dead of the night to get this guy on his deathbed to sign this, even though he was not the acting attorney general at that time. And the acting attorney general had to stand by John Ashcroft. I'm talking about James Comey. James Comey was so upset about this, he refused to meet Andy Card in person and actually had to get Ted Olson, he who argued in front of the Supreme Court that they should select George Bush president, as a witness. They're hiding something. And I guess Patrick Leahy is sick of it. When we come back, we'll be talking to our panel.